Hello all, Christina Bauer with the Texas Lyme Alliance. I am the founder of the Facebook group Disulfiram Experience for Lyme Disease Support Group. I wanted to reach out to everybody and let y'all know that we are here for you at all times. If y'all can hear me okay and see me okay, mostly hear me is what's important. Could somebody write in the comment section? I am going to share a question mark. Are y'all out there? It says I am live with one viewer. Hello. I am going to go ahead and get started. First of all, these are trying times. I wanted to reach out and let y'all know that there are a lot of us here that are recovering and still recovering. Okay, thanks, Lynn. Hi, thanks for telling me you hear me. Very good. We're all here to help support you through your journey, whether it's with Disulfiram or homeopathy, LDI. There's so many things that you can use to recover from Lyme disease. I think I've done all of it. The only things I haven't done are IVIG and plasmapheresis. Fire away with any questions that y'all have, Disulfiram and Lyme related. I have, hi Jennifer, thanks for letting me know you can hear me. I have pulled up my cell phone here so I can access the questions and not leave this screen here. I'll be reading them off of here, and Coco Lake is going to join me. Hi Steve, thanks for letting me know. Is going to join us to answer any scientific questions that I cannot answer for you guys. There are a few on here that I have already sent to Dr. Kinderlair. I've also sent messages to Dr. Liedner to let him know what I'm up to and see if there is anything he'd like to offer. So getting started, first and foremost, there's been a couple of things circling that really isn't heavily supported in research and in the studies, and that is polyphenols. That question we have I sent to Cosette to look at the article that was shared by Jennifer Shea. Thanks so much for doing that. Hi, Midnight. Thanks for letting me know. For her to read and check out. So she'll be joining at some point and chime in on what she thinks of the use of anything that contains polyphenols, like the use of curcumin while we're on Disulfiram. Just a little bit, let me back up, just a little bit about me. I was diagnosed, almost 8 years ago. I had gone undiagnosed with Lyme and co-infections for 32 years. I've treated a little over 7.5 years. With everything under the moon. I started in 2012 taking 33 prescription pills a day, of course, gradually increasing high doses of antibiotics. That didn't get rid of everything. We didn't know about biofilm back then. So I got a port a year later and did IV Rocephin for about I did it a little over 6 weeks with Dr. Wilson, and then got off of that and thought that would pretty much get everything. I was doing 25,000 milligrams of methylcobalamin injections in my stomach, as well as lots of other supplements. That didn't do it. A year after that, I did another aggressive Lyme treatment for 3 months at the Kutsanis Institute that now offers plasmapheresis, or apheresis, they call it there, and got a PICC line in my arm. Did another whole aggressive 3-month treatment there. I guess about, let's see, this is 2020. So the summer of 2017, I wanted to get rid of the rest. So I went to Germany with a dear friend to the world-renowned Villa Metagruen and saw the awesome Lyme clinic founder, Michael Whitstadt there, who you might see popping on and off of our Facebook forums, answering questions. He's a wonderful asset to all of us Lyme patients. And got stem cells, autologous, my own blood stem cells, and did 3 weeks of natural Lyme treatment. Boy, lots of different cool things that I did there as well. But not to bog y'all down with my story. All 4 of my kids got Lyme from me at birth. So I'm a congenital Lyme mom with 4 Lyme kiddos. They're all doing great, thank God. And I'm much, much better. I wanted to let you guys know, it took me about 4 years of treatment before I started feeling better. Knowing what I know now, going backwards, I try to, when I coach people, I try to let them know that my story is not their story, because it took me that long to get out of bed and feeling better. Out of bed meaning I'd be bed bound for weeks at a time, seizures and that kind of thing. And then I'd go back to teaching yoga at my yoga studio. I'm very athletic and totally fine, like nothing was bothering me. You know, it took me 4 years to start to feel better. You know, having fever for months at a time, things like y'all are very well aware of. You know, I started feeling like after I got the stem cells, it takes about a year to 18 months for them to proliferate and help rebuild your immune system. I started feeling like I was pretty close to remission at the end of 2018 when I started to get neuropathy back. My legs, my torso, my hands, extremities, weak and numb. And so I decided at that point to try Disulfiram February of 2019. So I did 8 months of Disulfiram treatment. I was pretty cut and dry, man. I quit glutathione, I quit binders, I quit all kinds of supplements and things that I just wanted to go cold turkey Disulfiram so that I could know exactly what it was doing for me, what it wasn't doing for me, and then I could better steer you guys with coaching and helping guide you all with your treatment. So nonetheless, not saying that that is what everybody should be doing. By the way, none of this is medical advice. This is always off of my personal experience and passing on guidance, and that's it to you all, and helping y'all find good information and steering you always back to working with a physician. The most important part of working with a physician is that you will be provided somewhat of a safety net. If anything were to happen, you are monitored to have your blood labs drawn. Dr. Liebner and Dr. Kindler recommend within the first, well, not within, but after the first 2 weeks of treating with Disulfiram, you want to have your labs drawn to make sure that your liver is functioning properly and that there's no elevated liver enzymes happening while on Disulfiram. And then every 2 weeks thereafter, Dr. Liebner is pretty conservative, which we really like in the use of Disulfiram. We definitely want to send a very big hug and thank you out to those doctors who have been our medical heroes to help us along the journey of this ride. But there's so many people who have helped me and my family. I want to give a shout out to them and a big thank you to all of those people who have helped educate me and steer me when I have not felt well and not known where to turn with helping my kids, 2 of whom were very sick. All 5 of us are doing great, not awesome, but really great. All 4 kids are doing wonderful. As you know, school is not in session right now, but they're doing e-learning and they would be all back in school and doing well. So I just want to give you guys all hope that there is light. If you're not seeing it, it's there. And I hope y'all look to those of us who have gotten out of bed and gotten well and back to working out and back to our lives. it will happen for you too. It's not a question, it's just when. So keep plugging away. We definitely are here and care for you guys. So I'm going to start answering some questions without further ado. The first one was posted by Dear Suze Mo. She says, hope these are the types of questions you're talking about. Number one, I'm just prepping to start. Was thinking because of the need to have blood work done every 2 weeks at the beginning, would wait till the peak, they said, would be here in Texas. Hello, fellow Texan. On 4/20. Before I start, in order to keep potential with my immune system to a minimum. With that in mind, what prep work would you suggest leading up to that? Start certain supplements in order to start same. I'll paste my list at the end of this post. Woo! Okay, so she's got a couple of them here, so I'm going to address one at a time. I don't want to run. Howdy, Suze, cutie pie. Starting at number one. So before starting Disulfiram, again, I always reference the doctor's information and best guess suggestions until we have studies that show what is and what is, and then also just from my own personal experience. So what I have learned, I can share, is that you definitely want to address candida and heavy metals. This drug is a copper complexing chelator, so we want to address any chelation and candida problems before you start Disulfiram, because there can be a buildup of acetaldehyde, so that when you take Disulfiram, you may start off with feeling maybe a little woozy, in that meaning that you might have kisses back to you, Suze. We call it the Disulfiram reaction, typically like nausea, headache, maybe possibly even nausea and vomiting. So that brings me to pointing out a couple of things. Work with your doctor to work on those things, candida and heavy metals, prior to starting Disulfiram. If you need physician suggestions, I keep a very close-vested list of Lyme and Disulfiram doctors. Feel free to privately email, message, or phone call me. All my information is out there for you guys to use and get the help y'all need. So the number two is I'm really confused about all the food and product warnings. I know this can feel overwhelming, you guys, but it's really quite, remember the KISS acronym when you're on Disulfiram. Keep it simple, whatever you want to say, silly or stupid. I learned it in college 20-something years ago. Keep it simple, stupid. I don't appreciate that. Keep it simple, silly, or whatever you want to say. But keep things simple. Learn before you start Disulfiram what is good and what is not good, and then just let it rip. Just do the best you can. Go super low and slow until you can titrate up. I understand that we could be more sensitive to things, but I'm also finding it extremely overwhelming trying to come up with a menu plan for the next 8-ish months that I can tolerate and not starve myself on. No, you definitely want to keep a full belly and taking Disulfiram on with meals. It has been suggested, people are doing better dividing the doses up. When you first start, you're going to have tiny, tiny doses, so it's hard to divide up a teeny tiny dust of Disulfiram. So you can sweep maybe 15 milligrams, 32 milligrams, 62 milligrams into an enteric coated capsule, but divide even that if you can. Of course, without trying to waste it, because it's in short supply, hopefully not for long, but throughout the day. I know some folks have mentioned they haven't noticed any reactions with products they already use and didn't make a lot of drastic changes to use items solely on the list. That's right. I was one of those people. I didn't change any of my skincare products. I didn't change my shampoo. I even was able to get rubbing alcohol in my arm for blood draws, which I was pretty good about all that stuff. some other people not so lucky. So don't listen to what worked for me or anybody else. I always recommend going as conservative as possible, avoiding alcohol of any kind. We definitely know that. My husband made turkey wraps one time when we went boating, and he used some mustard that was left over from some guests we had in our home, my cousin, and it had vinegar in it. Guys, I was nauseous as heck. I'd say within 20 minutes of finishing the sandwich, I was like, ooh, I don't feel so hot. I might vomit. I didn't. It was fine, but I did have a full sandwich of vinegar. The dose at that time in the summer, February, March, April, May, June, I'd say 250 milligrams. So a sizable amount. I'm about 145, 150 pounds. So if that tells you anything, this is all subject to each individual person. So that's why I recommend no alcohol at all of any kind, topical or ingesting, to be conservative, because you just don't know. Number 4 from Suze, what does it feel like to be done with this? And are you pretty convinced it's all eradicated? I get this question all the time. How do you measure permanent nerve damage, and what neuropathy will be lifelong? Okay, so first things first, I feel pretty good. I'm so different than everybody else. I don't tolerate sulfur very well. And this is a sulfur-containing compound. Oh, sorry, I don't know who that is. So I did not feel so good on Disulfiram. It wasn't awful. It wasn't anything horrible. I had the typical herxing like y'all have and message me about. Very typical stuff. Nausea, headaches, fibromyalgia, different aches and pains in different places that seem very weird, but very limey and quite often common with any kind of Lyme treatment. And then, yeah, no, definitely not all eradicated. I did quit because of the herxing. Brain. I remember I was talking to Coco Lake before going to the Lyme Mind conference, and I was like, I can't think of the word I'm trying to spit out and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you might want to back off for a little while until you get back from the conference. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, try that. It's a good idea. Boy, she was dead on. I wasn't thinking very well. I was having a hard time with word recall, things like brain fog, memory, stuff like that. Very typical Lyme brain kind of stuff. That's herx, guys, a lot of the time. I have done some research on phosphatidylcholine. If I've texted this to you, I always misspell it. Sorry about that. But it comes automatically in the liposomal vitamin C supplement that I offer, that I order off of Amazon, which is out of stock. Every kind of vitamin C and zinc right now is out of stock. So you might have to do some searching, maybe buy it separately, but I'm not recommending any of this stuff for you guys. Definitely do your homework and always run anything that you try or add by your doctor. I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want to hurt anybody. Just because it helped me with brain detox, brain inflammation, brain pressure, doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you. Okay, so Suze, you left me a bunch of protocol list here. I will go through that with you in private so that I don't take up everybody's time. Some of this stuff you're mentioning definitely is good, but I want to be more careful in recommending some of this stuff. Of course, I don't recommend it. It's just off my personal experience and what other physicians have recommended their patients. Some people really herx off of ALA, but Dr. Kindler has recommended ALA IVs. Dosing as per what your doctor orders. He didn't even want to give that out, but it's been known in studies to alleviate neuropathy for diabetes patients. So there is some data there to look up. So definitely look into that. Some people can't tolerate not any kind of dosing of ALA. So be careful with any of this stuff, guys. Like I said, just because it's one way for the goose doesn't mean it's that way for the gander. Okay, in it together, blah, blah, blah. Yes, okay. And then we have Jamie Anderson. Okay, so Jamie's feeling also overwhelmed by all the do's and don'ts. So I'm going to show you guys real fast. When you go into the group, okay, it's going to, the lighting is not going to be so kind to us. Okay, there you go. Here's our group. If you, let me go up. Okay, everything's backwards, Christina. You're going to scroll down and see here is the announcements. It says see all 4. You're going to select that 4, and it's going to pull up all of, yeah, that's not what I meant to do. It's going to pull up all of the announcements, and you're going to scroll down to the 4 announcements. Today's question and answer is the top one, and then the poll is the next one. Please answer that. Please don't make any new options. Just answer the poll as it is. And then here is the last interview I did with Dr. Kindler. God bless him 100 times over. Here is what I'm steering every single person to in the welcome post that I make when y'all join our group. If I have missed you, sorry about that. Welcome to our group. Here is where I steer you guys to. If you scroll down, this is all of the information from, there it is, Dr. Kindler, Dr. Liegner, Coco Lake, everything in here. Here's dosing information and so forth. So if you all go there, almost every one of these questions about diet and so forth is going to be answered in there per those 2 doctors who have had the most experience providing this medication. Also food list and so forth is kind of in there, but also elaborated on a website that I made for you guys in the medical community to have everything in one spot. It is www.disulfiram4lyme.com. And if you click on publications and patient info and scroll down, you'll see all of the information regarding what is recommended well on disulfiram and what is not. Don't let it overwhelm you guys. The main thing is stay away from ripe fruit, anything that can ferment like rice, carbohydrates, some probiotics we're not sure about might ferment, especially those that contain yeast and rice are definitely a no-no. Ripe fruit was really the only thing I felt drunk over, not very fun at all. But I didn't change my diet, not one iota, you guys. I didn't change my, I didn't drink. Of course, I stayed away from alcohol. I scrutinized every single thing I put in my body for alcohol or any form of vinegar. Stay away from salad dressing, forms of vinegar of any kind. And you guys, like, go through your kitchen and your self-care products before you start and just set yourself up for success so that it's a no-brainer. Keep it simple. Use that KISS acronym on a daily basis. Any questions that you guys have, my forum, y'all are awesome. Super helpful to additional patients who come on here with questions. We all can't be available every time somebody has a question. So anytime y'all steer people to that announcement at the top of our forum or help steer people in the right direction, we really appreciate that. Okay, so getting on to Jennifer Shea's question, there's a research article that cautions against a diet high in polyphenols while on disulfiram due to concerns about neuropathy. I know in a prior interview, the one I just pointed to actually, I think it was, Dr. K talked about recommending curcumin to control inflammation. It's my understanding that curcumin is high in polyphenols. Yes, it is. I wondered if you had a chance to ask him about it. Since you posted that question, thank you for posting it, by the way. I did send him that question and asked him what his clinical experience has been. He has recommended curcumin, so I am assuming his clinical experience has been fine with using thiols and polyphenols. So Cosette Coca-Lake and I, by the way, did I tell you guys, I think I did in the beginning, she is a pharmacist. So that's why I refer to her scientific experience with drugs and drug compounds in answering questions. He's not seen a problem with it. So I'm not recommending it, like I'm not recommending Disulfiram or anything else on here that I discuss, but he's not seen an issue to date that I know of. I did post the question to him. I called him before I started about an hour ago and let him know what we were up to, and let him know he's welcome to call and chime in during this interview and answer that question. So once he answers that question, I'll be sure to get that to you guys here in the forum. She provided the research article. Thank you for that. I did pass that on to Cosette as well as Dr. Kindler. She also asked, I also wondered if you plan to interview Dr. Ligner, Kay, or any other Lyme practitioners regarding the latest on the efficacy of DSF. Thank you so much for the previous interviews. I learned a great deal from them. You're very welcome. Just trying to pass on the good luck that we've had that other people have helped us get better with. So yes, of course. I have talked to, Logan, turn that fan on for Mommy. I'm getting warm. I will be doing an interview soon with Dr. Kindler on PANS and Lyme. So I'll let you all know and share that when that comes out. Okay, and then I wanted to share with you guys, I always follow up with, here we go. I always follow up with Dr. Kindler, Dr. Rajadas, and Dr. Ligner. There are three superstar heroes. If they're seeing anything new and different in the use of Disulfiram or anything surrounding Lyme. This is what Dr. Ligner said in the latest March 15th, so it wasn't that long ago. He says, we've been readying for 3 different talks with a PowerPoint summary of our first 3 years experience in one practice, his practice. All 3 conferences were canceled due to COVID-19, but seeing continued and impressive results, favorable results, whether with option A, quick and dirty, rapidly escalating, or option B, low and slow. Like I've said, not necessarily a walk in the park using Disulfiram, but still, overall, lot of benefiting being seen. So hooray. Again, I'm not cheering Disulfiram. I'm cheering any kind of treatment to help us. So thank you, Dr. Ligner, for providing that. Okay, it looks like Cosette has posted a question. I'm going to invite her here real quick before I continue, because it looks like, okay, there you go. And then, all right, let's invite one more superstar here. Okay, and then hopefully Cosette will chime in about that polyphenols article. I don't claim to be a science expert, so I'll pass it on to those who do. Okay, Happy Taffy, love the name. Okay, so she wants to know about detox methods which you recommend. I've heard about trisalts, but don't know much more than that. Okay, so trisalts are electrolytes. I buy them at my doctor's office. He has bisalts also, is what it's, I assume it's just 2 of the 3, but man, it stops our hooks in its tracks pretty quickly. Also, I'll let y'all know something that is similar and works very well is Alka-Seltzer Gold. Everybody should have boxes of that. And all the rooms. And again, I'm not recommending it. I'm just telling you it works for almost all of my family and Lyme patients within minutes of ingesting. It's pretty fantastic. Super cheap. Once again, I'm all about treating Lyme on a shoestring budget. Most people may not even have that. So all of this help is for you to get better on a budget. I want to also mention that I have a YouTube channel. I will post here. I don't want to get off the screen because I'm tech challenged and I may not be able to get back in going live. I'll post it here in the comments of this Facebook Live post so that you guys can readily get that information on detox baths. Again, really cheap, something that we should be doing. I'm not going to tell you guys you should be doing it. I'll tell myself that as a reminder. I need to be doing it more often. When I was really sick, guys, I was doing them like 2 to 3 a day. A detox bath has a process to it, and that's why I made an entire video on it. It's just a couple minutes long, nothing fancy. But you can see my face is really red right now because I'm hot in here. But also, it looks like this when I get out of my detox baths. But the point is you want to dry brush first. Use, if you have problems with sulfas like myself, I'm allergic to sulfa drugs, but that's different than sulfur containing compounds. Sulfa drugs are sulfam, because that can help me with that if she gets on here. Sulfonamides, that is different than sulfur containing foods or sulfur containing drugs. So it took me like a whole year to understand the difference. So what do people do with other antibiotics that they are on? Daughter has Babs, Bart, and Lyme. Is it possible to start low dose of DSF whilst titrating up other ABX for beneficial anti-inflammatory effects? Again, I can't say yes, but I can tell you that lots of people who find Disulfiram treatment are already on antibiotics, and that has been, the majority of Dr. Kindler's patients. I haven't interviewed Dr. Liegner, but I've watched some of his interviews, and I believe that's his experience also. I actually did film one of them. So most people that find Disulfiram have tried everything. So yeah, people are on antibiotics for all these things and titrate up slowly on Disulfiram. How long are patients who can only tolerate a low dose staying on Disulfiram? Okay, this question's hard to answer, which some other ones to come are as well. Sorry if I'm talking fast, you guys. My last question and answer I did went way overboard in length. So I'm trying to get to all of the questions. If we don't, it's okay. We'll still get to your questions at some point here in the comments. But nonetheless, the question is difficult to answer because everybody's different. So starting off low and slow for the majority of people, you don't want to take another dose if you're herxing from the last dose. I know that for sure. You want to always ride the Disulfiram journey just below a herx. So if you can get that dose down when you start, you want to stay there for a while. It's still being effective. Trust me, this stuff is a monster killer in lots of different things. So staying on it, the only thing we have to go on is Dr. Liegner's clinical study of the 3 patients. And to see lasting remission is what he calls it. Those patients were over 200-pound men. All 3 of them. I'd like to see him include women in his next few studies, if possible, to give a broader range of effects of Disulfiram and what side effects women see, because we do have baby making capabilities. So we have a different immune system because of that reason. So I'm seeing, as well as my own doctor here in Texas, is seeing a different reaction from women being more sensitive to disulfiram than men. Other people have challenged me on that. That's fine. But again, that's what I saw, and that is what my doctor saw or is seeing. But my doctor doses low and slow and stays low. So Dr. Liegner's study, getting back to that, had these men on their maintenance dose or target dose, core dose, all the same thing, for 60 to 90 days to reach a lasting remission. So the word cure, the word eradication, those are really a far-fetched goal that we really cannot use those words until we have studies to prove that. It drives me crazy to hear people say, oh, I've been in remission for 2 years and I just deal with some of the side effects of Lyme. It's not a big deal, the fibromyalgia, but that's not a remission in my opinion, guys. Remission to me is complete and utter withdrawal of all Lyme and co-infection symptoms. That is what I hold true for me and my family. Y'all may operate on a different spectrum there, that's fine. Piggybacking on, this is from Kathy Joe, piggybacking on Carol McDowell's question that I last asked, those on low doses, can they reach remission? My husband is struggling on 25 milligrams weekly, exclamation point. Get rid of that exclamation point. There are no expectations using this drug and reaching remission or eradication or a cure. Guys, this is such a monster drug. I really can't emphasize that enough. I want to make sure that everybody gets to every single effort that I do for you guys in this forum or on my YouTube channel or any of the videos and interviews I post on my web pages are all about safety and science, science and safety. This is a monster drug, guys. So take out the exclamation points. You may think, sorry, getting messages from patients as we speak. You may think that that sounds low and like you're not going to get anywhere, but boy, just give it time, because if you stay low and slow, your body will start to clear things out and you'll start to be able to titrate up little by little until you start to feeling better. Most people, I want to say, including myself, didn't start to feel the lasting positive benefits until you stop disulfiram. Just like we titrate up low and slow, you want to titrate down as well. Again, not my medical advice or recommendation. That is what the physicians are seeing is working better. That typically is leading to, oh, Cosette's on. Okay. Where are you, Cosette? Where'd you go? Okay, Coco Lake joined. Okay. Good. Okay. So we'll get to what Cosette said down below. Making our way through, guys. These are great questions. So we just want to start off low and slow. If you're struggling, guys, on any dose, it doesn't matter if it's 10 milligrams a week or 100 milligrams a day. Don't take the next dose until you're not struggling, because you don't want that cytokine storm to start building and building and building until you're so uncomfortable you're considering the ER. This is not the time for the ER with the COVID threat. And then also I wanted to address Sue's question about getting blood work done on disulfiram. Guys, you want to call your lab or check on your lab with your lab column or look on the website. There's locations who are and are not testing for COVID. So don't avoid getting your blood work done because you're afraid that a COVID patient was there. If I go anywhere, I don't sit down. I don't put my purse down. I don't put my phone down. I put it in my pocket. I put it on my body. Your clothes, your skin, anything you want to try to avoid touching things. But if it's a safety issue, guys, and you need to get your blood work done, I'm not recommending by any means that you go risk your safety. But I would wear gloves. I would wear a mask and be careful not to touch or put your purse down or things like that, you can carry it in on your shoes. So leave all your stuff that you did wear or use out in your garage or in your entryway for a couple of days. We know that COVID can stick on hard surfaces for 3 to 17 days. They say 3 days, but now we have heard from the Princess cruise ship it stayed for 17 days. So just be careful. I don't have medical advice. I'm just telling you what's out there. Bruno says, how much percent who completed, I read this earlier, who completed full DSF protocol on target are in remission versus better versus no improvement? Again, Dr. Liegner has PowerPoint slides that hopefully have this data in them. I have requested that we get some more information regarding results from him and Dr. Liegner, but you know, we can only go off of what we know so far. Read the forums. There's golly, 5 of them now. And see what people are posting. I can't even take a stab at the percentage right now because everybody's so different, and it's still early on, guys, but the best person to put out statistics right now on any of those questions is going to be Dr. Liegner. So I will continue to try to get any of that information from him for you guys and pass it on when he's good and ready, but he cannot share his slides because he's saving them for those conferences. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind sharing some information in regards to what he's seeing. He did share with us, though, that he is still seeing good and lasting results. So that's very positive. Jennifer Shea, do you have any new information related to achieving remission at doses lower than the original target doses used by Dr. Liegner? Well, what I can say is, again, we don't know until we have studies. I'm sorry I keep repeating myself like a broken record on that one, but it's true. I like to stick to the science and what has been peer-reviewed and validated. We just don't have it yet. But what I can say is, the doses where people are going lower, guys, the purpose is to avoid a cytokine storm. You don't want to get there because then what Kinderler has seen is a cytokine storm is causing you more trouble than the potential benefits from disulfiram, because what he's seeing in his clinical research is that people who go too high too fast is having to back up even lower than what they were originally tolerating because of the inflammation. So we want to try to ride the disulfiram journey just under a Herx. That is not my medical advice. Again, sorry I keep saying that, but protecting my butt and yours by doing so. Lynn Sherb, thanks for your question. She says, my biggest Lyme complaint is stabbing, burning, nerve pain in both legs, and also deep muscle aches and pain in feet. Okay, so that might be Bartonella, girl. I'm on DSF for Lyme, Bart, and Babesia. Okay, so first things first, we know that it is effective against Borrelia and Babesia. We do not have clinical or research studies showing that it is effective against Bartonella. So if you have stopped your Bartonella treatment during disulfiram, talk to your doctor about that, because pain in the feet is typically Bartonella, and you may want to incorporate something for Bartonella while you're on disulfiram. Treat it before or after, but definitely bring that up to your doctor. Let's see. I'm on disulfiram. Okay, that was my next question. I'm on disulfiram for Lyme, Bart, and Babesia. Okay, so those can be herxing symptoms from the die-off in those places from the Borrelia, nerve pain like that. If it were me, I would back up or stop altogether until it goes away or dissipates to a comfortable level, and then go very slowly back up, because again, you want to ride just under a Herx. can anyone answer, if I really want to focus on treating this pain based on my symptoms, what would you add to DSF to concentrate on getting rid of whatever is causing that pain? Is it Bart, Babesia? Does anyone have suggestions, or has gotten better from the same thing? I'd love to hear it. My LLMD is very flexible in my treatments. That's great. Sing their praises, girl. Where was I? I'd love to hear it. I'll ask her for it. Yay, it's a woman doctor too. I'm looking for antibiotics. I've done herbals for a few years and my pain has remained unchanged. I'm in agony. So sorry. Okay, so I can tell you what my experience has been in speaking with Dr. Kendall. He has mentioned the ALA study on diabetes for relieving neuropathy pain. But again, some people can't tolerate any form of ALA. It makes them hurt like crazy. Talk to your doctor about that. These are Lyme symptoms. So for me, if this was me, I would definitely look at increasing my detox as far as detox bathing. I didn't mention earlier, I'll post a video again that goes over that, but it's dry brushing first, using, if you're sensitive to sulfurs, you want to use a different Epsom salt than sodium sulfate. There's I think it's sodium bicarbonate, or there's others. You can try that. I just negate it all together. I get it all at Sam's, super, super cheap, guys. Peroxide and baking soda. These are all really inexpensive ways to detox. If you don't have pots, you do want to work up a sweat in the bathtub. If you have trouble with seizures or dysautonomia POTS, please be very careful, guys. This will make your head spin. It's big time herx, but it's really, really good if you can withstand it. When I was really sick, it was a big struggle for me. I had to have help inside the tub, in the tub, inside the tub, and out of the tub. And then I'd have to lay down for an hour, heart beating, face, blood pounding. It was horrible. Headaches, nausea, all that. You can do Alka-Seltzer Gold for the pain. And then detox bathing, buy salt Alka-Seltzer Gold before your bath. Soak for about an hour. You can keep heating the water up to a comfortable level so that you're not making your POTS worse, so that you can tolerate the detox method. You want to open the pores so that the alkalizing agents can get into the bloodstream, and then rinse with cool water. Again, regardless of whether you have POTS or not, guys, be super careful getting out of that bathtub so you don't slip, fall, pass out, all that nonsense. Be really careful. And then binders after to soak up whatever it is that you're bringing out during your detox bath. So Coco Lake has responded to Lynn. She has said, my daughter says she took royal jelly 500 milligram pill form because it tastes bad. It does. Once to twice per day. She says that helped, but would not take it with DSF because the potential interactions are unknown. So that's another thing is I stopped taking binders, glutathione, everything. I did take curcumin while I was on Disulfiram, but again, that's just my experience. I did not have reactions to it, but again, everybody's different. So talk to your doctor about that, and hopefully Dr. Kindler will get back to us on his clinical experience using polyphenols or thiols. I'm thinking of a couple off the top of my head. There's quite a few of them actually that are recommended for Lyme patients during treatment. So just be careful. We want to have science underneath us before we make any kind of a change to what we're doing. So talk to your doctor first. Cosette, is there anything that I missed? If you could please comment or chime in on anything. Thank you. Tell Nikki thank you for that information. I think I've covered it all, guys. Does anybody have any other questions before I sign off? Let's see here. I'm having a couple. Happy Taffy says, thanks for this. You're welcome. Suze, thank you. You're a rock star too. Okay, Dr. F in spring is her doctor. Hooray for you. He is fantastic. He is who was treated and trained by my original Lyme Dr. Wilson here in Denton, Texas, who's since retired and sent all of his Lyme patients to Dr. F in spring. And I can mention Dr. Wilson's name because he allows me to do that. But he is retired and he's quite famous actually. So Dr. Wilson was the president of ILAD's Education Foundation and has since stepped down from that position to the treasurer and passed it on to somebody else. But he has treated and trained Dr. F in spring. So Suze Mo, you are in good hands there, sister. I have spoken with him, his wife, his staff, and a lot of patients that I've sent there. He's fantastic, you guys. I don't hear any bad news coming out of that office. So great job, Dr. F. I almost said his name. And all of those medical heroes out there on the front lines for COVID and Lyme disease, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and my family for what y'all are doing to help support patients get better. Let me see if there is anything else. I'm going to post it here. I think we covered it all, guys. Oh, okay, scroll down, Christina. There's a bunch of stuff from Cassette here. The downward titration of Disulfiram has become more common in the attempt to mitigate the emergency of temporary depression. Yeah, that's been a big deal for some people, not all. So don't fear this medication because you think that might be you. Talk to your doctor first. She says it can last up to around 2 months that has been reported. We love you, Cosette. Thank you so much. Another one from Coco Lake, who's also Cosette, by the way. She's the pharmacist in our group. Starting low is also being done to keep the inflammation low. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. The copper deposition that occurs in the myelin surrounding the nerves and neurons can cause neuropathy that might occur if the inflammation was not already present. As treatment goes on, she says, I fly. I'm not sure that's what she meant, but noted what she's saying, that you want to fly on disulfiram just below a Herx to avoid neuropathy and any other kind of herxing and complications. We want to avoid cytokine storm, guys. If you do have inflammation, you can also check out my YouTube channel. Again, I'll post the link here on this thread. Dr. Wilson, that I've talked about already, he has put together a PowerPoint presentation on mast cell disease and Lyme that he has given me permission to share on my YouTube channel. It goes kind of fast on YouTube when I saved it as an MP4 versus a presentation that I shared. So you might want to pause it, take notes, read, print, whatever you need to do to get the information down. I've talked to so many patients who don't think they who try it and benefit. I'm not recommending that to anybody, but it has worked for me. My doctor, guys, I've treated 7 years before I tried addressing any kind of inflammation using mast cell treatment. And wow, it's a big difference. It's cheap and it's very effective, and it has very, what's the word I'm looking for? Low side effects, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, the inflammation, oh, okay, she finishes what she was saying, Cosette here. The inflammation may go down as treatment goes on and result in less incidence at the development of neuropathy. Great, thank you. Get a spot water for the hot water therapy. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. You don't know how effective this is until you get into trouble. Please make sure if you have, especially if you have POTS or are prone to seizures or epilepsy, whatever, that you do have a spotter, somebody that's going to sit with you actually. Have them bring their laptop or, boy, I'd watch YouTube videos in there. I brought my books. Like a lot of my self-care books are all waterlogged, so they get good use in the tub. That's what that time is for, guys. This is a process. It's typically routine-based. So in the routine of taking care of these things, okay, so yes, get a spotter for the detox baths, because it says the bioavailability of curcumin is low. Sue says yes, because it responds just the fewer drug, herbal interventions, the simpler it is to control what is going on. Okay, so again, what she's saying, come on, computer. What she's saying is we don't know what a lot of these interventions like binders and glutathione and a lot of this other stuff is going to do with while taking disulfiram. So until there's studies done proving what is happening with using disulfiram, it's safer to lessen what interventions that we're using while we're on disulfiram. Again, I'm not recommending you come off of anything, talk to your doctor, but fewer things the better. I got off of every single thing except the main supplements that I were on. The last few pictures I posted, any ozone or oxygen, any of that type of treatments that I've posted post disulfiram, guys, has all been post disulfiram. So make sure you go through the photos and read the dates and what it is that I've posted, whether I'm on disulfiram or not, or anybody else who's posted what it is that they're doing. When y'all, just a reminder on the forums, when y'all are posting your updates, please do post your updates, but please put your weight, if you don't mind, girls, we're all there with you. Dose and how long you've been on this medication. Again, I'm posting this stuff repeatedly for all of us in those welcome posts to our newcomers. So please refresh your memory when I post those as we get lots and lots and lots of new members on an ongoing basis. Oh, thanks, Suze. That's so nice. I think very highly of Dr. F as well. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for doing this, Christina, and being such an advocate for us all. I love you guys like family. I really, truly do. I'm not just saying that. I don't make any money off of advocacy. 100% of anything that's donated goes straight to research, you guys. I don't take a dime. 100% of my spreadsheets are transparent for anybody who wants to ask for for what it is that I'm bringing in and sending out. Any donations that come in off of my yoga videos, 100% goes to research. I take donations, by the way, at texaslymealliance.net. I also take donations at disulfiramforlyme.com. There is a charge credit card and any kind of transactions. If you guys would like to send a check, give me a call or an email and I will send you an address to send a check. Also, dietary restrictions from Cosette may not need to be as strict as patients fear. Avoid all ethyl alcohol and do everything else in moderation. Yeah, absolutely. Like I've told you guys, keep it simple. Don't get yourselves overwhelmed or avoid doing this treatment because you think it's not doable. most people who have suppressed immune systems or Lyme disease and co-infections aren't big drinkers anyway. I mean, so come on, this really isn't as big of an ordeal as people make it. Definitely read, like I said, set your kitchen up, set your bathroom and self-care stuff up as Cosette, yeah, I fly was a typo. But yeah, don't overthink this stuff. Don't let it get you overwhelmed. This is just part of the healing journey, and we're all here to support you from my heart to yours, Cosette and lots of other people. I do speak to medical professionals for stuff that comes from our forum and try our best to get those answers back to y'all. So feel free to keep it coming. I wrote something regarding the polyphenols. This is still unknown, but when in doubt, avoid as possible. Yes, it is. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping notes while I have you guys. I am going to load this video. I'll save it here, but I'm also going to load it on our YouTube channel, which I'm going to post the link, as I said, from my detox baths to you guys on this thread so that you can go get additional interviews and information from the ILEDS Education Foundation, Dr. Wilson, and so forth. I've done several videos with him on persistent Lyme as well as congenital Lyme. Texas Lyme Alliance advocates for Lyme patients everywhere. We're just based in Texas because that's where I live. But also, when you guys invite people, this is important, when you guys invite people to our forum, I would like for you to know that they still have to answer the questions. There are 3 questions to answer. Everybody in this forum has to have a profile picture. I don't care if you just came out of a cult or whatever it is. We don't want to talk to a ghost. It is for comfort level. Please post a picture of a dog, a flower, it doesn't matter. It helps us in talking with you to have some type of a picture to put with it. A green ribbon, it doesn't matter. But the people you invite, guys, have got to still answer those questions. If a couple days go by and they haven't answered questions, I'm so sorry, but I do delete them. We get lots and lots and lots of people who request entry who don't have a profile picture. They're deleted immediately. I'm sorry, but even if you answer all the questions, they're deleted. We're also requesting people who are already in the group that I know that don't have profile pictures to please load one. Again, a dog, a flower, a tree. We don't care what you look like. We don't care what you represent yourself. It is for us to have a face to where we're not feeling like we're talking to a ghost. It's uncomfortable for the person speaking with you. So please consider that. Not a big deal, but we do like this is a support group. So we like to have it as supportive as possible and as human as possible. And any kind of picture helps. But all of the people that you do invite, thank you for doing that. It is to support you and anybody who needs help with Disulfiram information for Lyme and co-infections. We do need them to still answer those questions to release us of all liability, to understand that anything that they read or hear on our forum is not medical advice, and it protects our butts and yours and theirs. And then also the 4th thing that they need to answer is that they understand our rules. There's no bullying, there's no name calling. People do not get second chances who are complete jerks and might use vulgar language or name calling. They're immediately removed. So please, takes a village here, just like anywhere else. We're here to help y'all, and we offer you mutual respect like we ask back to our forum. So please be kind and considerate and helpful to your neighbors in our forum. That's really all I have, guys. Let's see. Okay, Suze has asked, what is a polyphenol? Cosette is suggesting liver function is very easy to check. Some increase is not a reason for major alarm. That's right. Mine did increase only one time over 8 months, and my doctor said, lower the dose of disulfiram, but don't stop because it wasn't high enough. And keep going. And then we've rechecked it. Guys, it was fine. Some of this stuff, people really are really blowing a lot of this DSF stuff out of proportion. So please consider the source when you guys are considering information, because that says some increase in liver function is not a reason for major alarm. Just keep them checked. Doctors are very good at knowing when to become alarmed, because that has 30 years of dealing with physicians who do all of this blood work checks. So she knows what she's talking about. So Cosette has an answer for Sue's. Polyphenols are chemicals commonly found in vegetables and fruits. Let's see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys, we're just coming up a little over an hour, so I did good. Sorry for the fast talking. Dr. Ligner's video also in my YouTube channel. Closer to the end, it is a video that I recorded after the Lyme Mind conference in New York last year with Dr. Roger and Dr. Ligner, that Beverly had provided the interview. Toward the end of that video, he states his recommended blood draws, because it's quite a bit. Dr. Ligner, God bless him, is very conservative, and thank goodness, because he doesn't want to miss anything he says. And gosh, I love that. Wouldn't we all love to have a doctor like that, right? So he recommends, it's like 9 to 12, definitely a liver panel, CBC, CMP with differential. Thank you, Cosette, for reminding me the other day of that. But there are also other tests that he recommends to go with that, and it is in that video. It is the one that has the 3 of them. It's like in a mirror here. I don't know what I'm doing. In that interview that I'm recording with him, Dr. Rajadas and Beverly, and it's on my YouTube channel. It is closer to the end where he clearly states, kind of talks kind of fast, so get your pen ready, and keep going back till you get them all, and write them down. If your doctor is inexperienced using this or in treating Lyme disease, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you have a doctor while treating with disulfiram, because you definitely want to not miss something. If your liver has elevated enzymes to a dangerous degree, you want to know about it before you have damage. And then write those tests down. And then the other thing I wanted to say was Quest, I think, and LabCorp are the 2 main labs in the US that are allowing patients to do their own blood work and getting results as well. So check into that. I don't know how you would, well, I think actually you would give them your insurance information when you go in for that lab work. Again, guys, just be super careful right now with the COVID stuff. We're all in quarantine, so from my home to yours, we just want to wish you all well and reach out and let y'all know that we're here for you. I haven't done a question and answer with Cosette for you guys. We've only done one, but we haven't done it in several months. I herxed 2 different times over 8 months that were enough for me to quit my therapy with disulfiram, so it's not easy for any of us. And I started so early on that we did not have the dosing instructions that I just showed you on our forum that we got from Dr. Ligner after I already started and went to 500 milligrams. So yeah, that was a pretty hard herx. I herxed for 6 weeks. It wasn't awful. The first 2 weeks were pretty uncomfortable, I'll admit. But guys, don't ever forget how strong you guys are. I want you to know oh, this stuff chokes me up, but you guys need to hear it from somebody who's done it. I've had Lyme and co-infections 39 years, and you can do this. So don't ever underestimate your strength, your courage, your bravery, and your capability in getting through Lyme treatment. I'm not recommending disulfiram. I'm not telling you it's the cure or it's going to eradicate anything. It's been very helpful for a lot of people. I have come off of it now 5 months ago. The longer I'm off, I seem to be doing better, but I'm also now still treating Lyme and co-infections with homeopathy and low-dose immunotherapy. And I also have done skin allergy testing with my ENT, who is also my Lyme disease doctor, and do allergy shots for mold, pollens, and foods. So I think it's really important at some point that we all understand what foods and triggers, so to speak, we all have, so that we can understand, because some of this stuff I was shocked that my family and I were allergic to, because they're really healthy foods like eggs and golly, bananas, avocados, guys. Oh, I love avocados, and I live in Texas, so every other meal is Tex-Mex, which includes avocados. So it's high in histamine. If y'all are struggling with inflammation, look at that video on mast cell on my YouTube channel. Look up the foods that are high in histamine and consider all of this stuff as contributing to inflammation, because you may think that these things are healthy foods and other things aren't bothering you, like animals in your home, but they could be the underlying reason that your histamine level is bothering you, and inflammation is spinning out of control at times, or at a level that makes you uncomfortable. I had yeast I didn't realize was in popcorn shrimp that I breaded with the other night before last, and oh my gosh, I was clawing my nose out, and instantly I thought, what on earth did I eat that I'm allergic to? There was yeast in the gluten-free breading. Udi's. Yeah, the good one. So y'all don't realize until you get tested, and then you go, okay, so these are just steps along the way, guys. Just don't overwhelm yourselves. This is a long journey. There's no quick fix for any of this stuff, so don't overwhelm yourselves. Take part in my meditation and breathing class that I have loaded on the Vimeo channel. I'll post here as well to put it all in one place for you. But that's what that does. It stimulates the vagus nerve to lower inflammation in the body. So lots of resource out there, guys, not just from me, but take part.